All right, today we are going to we're going to start a story called Stormalong. And Stormalong is a fictional story about a man who is larger than life. And as we read this story, we're going to be introduced to a part of text called hyperbole. And that is where things, text, people are described to be larger than life. They're very, very exaggerated. So as we read through Stormalong, I want you to listen and see if you can catch on to different examples of hyperbole as they're used in this story. One day in the early 1800s, a tidal wave crashed down on the shores of Cape Cod in New England. After the wave had washed back to sea, the villagers heard deep, bellowing sounds coming from the beach. When they rushed to find out what was going on, they couldn't believe their eyes. A giant baby, 3 fathoms tall, or 18 feet, was crawling across the sand, crying in a voice as loud as a foghorn. The villagers put the baby in a big wheelbarrow and carried him to town. They took him to the meeting house and fed him barrels and barrels of milk. As 10 people patted the baby on the back, the minister said, "What will we name him?" "How about Alfred Bulltop Stormalong?" a little boy piped up. "And call him Stormy for short." The baby smiled at the boy. "Stormy it is!" everyone cried. So if you can see that picture, look how big Stormy is as a baby. As he grew older, Stormy was the main attraction of Cape Cod. He didn't care for all the attention, however. It reminded him that he was different from everyone else. After school, he always tried to slip away to the sea. He liked to swim out into the deep water and ride the whales and porpoises. Stormy's love for the ocean was so strong that folks used to say he had salt water in his veins. By the time Stormy was 12, he was already 6 fathoms tall, or 36 feet. "I guess you're going to have to go out into the world now," his friends said sadly. "The truth is, you've grown too big for this town. You can't fit in the schoolhouse, and you're too tall to work in a store. Maybe you should go to Boston. It's a lot bigger than Cape Cod." Stormy felt like an outcast as he packed his trunk, hoisted it over his shoulder, and started away. And when he arrived in Boston, he discovered something that made him even sadder. Although the city had more buildings than Cape Cod, they were just as small. Worse than that, his huge size and foghorn voice scared the daylights out of everyone he met. "A sailor's life is the only one for me," he said, staring longingly at Boston Harbor. "The sea's my best friend. It's with her that I belong." And with his back to Boston, Stormy strode toward the biggest Yankee clipper docked in the harbor, the Lady of the Sea.